Welcome back to the show. What a season John Tavares is having so far. 15 goals, 13 assists, 28 points. He's second in goals this season on the Maple Leafs behind only William Nylander, which means it's time to chat with our friend Bryan Hayes. Another edition of Harvey's Hot Takes. So John Tavares on pace, Bryan, for 40 goal season. He's only scored 40-plus once in his career. Are you buying at this point, Bryan Hayes, that John Tavares needs to be on this Maple Leafs team next year?
I'm not buying that, Jay. I hate to say that. He's playing so well this year. It's Christmas, yet I'm going Grinch on this. And it's really nothing that John Tavares could do because you just stated what he's been up to so far this season. He looks great. He's producing. He's playing with different forwards. He's showing up every single night. He lost the captaincy over the summer, and it has not affected him negatively whatsoever. He's revitalized under Craig Berube. But for me, all of it is irrelevant in terms of the big picture when it comes to his contract and where this team is going to go moving forward because it's the regular season. And I want to make sure that I clarify that because of the regular season. I'm not taking a shot at John. He's been great. The best compliment I can give him at 34 years old, he looks like himself. The wheels have not fallen off. He has not slowed down. He is an uber professional. He shows up every single night. He's great in the room. I could go on about how impressed I am by John Tavares this year, but it will not change my mind in terms of where I think this team is going to have to go if it blows up again in the playoffs. And that's a big if. Again, because there is a new top four in Toronto in terms of the defense core. The goaltenders have been great this year. They got a guy behind the bench who's got a cup ring in Craig Berube. So it could change, and my mind could change, and my approach to John Tavares and his future in Toronto could change, but it's not going to change in December just because he's on pace for 40 goals. If you get to the end of the season and it blows up again, they have to do something. And it sounds like deja vu. I feel like I've been saying that forever, but something's got to give, and I think it would start with John Tavares. And again, you also have to remember, Jay, and I think everyone needs to remember, it's a business, and it's ruthless. And just saying, hey, you got to come back is putting a lot of leverage in John Tavares' side of things as well. I don't think the Maple Leafs are under any obligation to do this right now or at any point through the regular season. John has made it clear he wants to stay here. He wants to be a Leaf, so let it play out. And at the end of the year, make a decision. But by making a decision, it's not just about singling out John Tavares and saying, who is he and what does he represent? What else is out there? What other free agents are out there? How high is the cap going? How could you use the money you might be spending on him possibly to go elsewhere? Maybe to get faster if it doesn't work in the playoffs. Maybe to get younger if you feel you have to if it doesn't work in the playoffs. So all of these questions are still there regardless of how well John Tavares is playing. So I give him all the credit in the world. I've been thoroughly impressed. I cannot, again, accent that enough. But nothing was going to change through 30 games into December in terms of where I stand on this. I think it would be silly to sign him right now. I don't think they should have to. I don't think they will. Doesn't mean he won't return. Doesn't mean they won't find a role for him. But as of right now, I'm not on that board where I'm saying you've got to do this. It's mandatory. John Tavares has to come back. We've been down this road before when it comes to the Maple Leafs. Get to the playoffs, play it out, and then set your cards out and figure out what you're going to do going forward.
Tavares had a natural hat trick in that win over the Sabres on Sunday. Sabres are winless in 10. Sabres are not doing well, Bryan, as you know. And owner Terry Pegula actually flew to Montreal to meet with the team and GM Kevin Adams, a big meeting ahead of their game against Montreal on Tuesday. It's interesting, though, because Terry Pegula, as you know, also owns the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills are absolutely flying right now. Why has Terry Pegula been able to right the ship on the Buffalo Bills, a team that struggled so long to find their identity and get back to what they were? Why has he been so successful in the NFL side, Bryan, and that NHL team is still struggling for him?
It's a great question, and I think it's a question that everyone in Buffalo is probably asking. I think it's pretty simple. When it comes to the Bills, he committed to three individuals. He committed to Brandon Beane, the GM. He committed to Sean McDermott, the head coach. And he committed to Josh Allen. And really, they got lucky with Allen. They drafted him. It was an incredible pick. And Josh Allen is proof that when you're a superstar quarterback, and I think he's trending towards being an all-time great quarterback, it's idiot-proof. Really, it pushes the owner aside. Josh Allen is that good, and McDermott's that good in terms of being a coach and supplying a culture in Buffalo. And Beane has been really good in terms of turning different parts of the roster over. But Josh Allen is so good, it doesn't matter who the owner is. And they don't have that with the Sabres. Kevin Adams, I'm not sure he's a very good GM, right? He's still early into this process, but it hasn't looked great so far. Lindy Ruff is a great coach, but now he's on his second act in Buffalo. He said coming off that game in Toronto, he's almost speechless. He's trying to figure this out, but he can't right now. And they don't have anything close to a Josh Allen type player. It's actually pretty incredible when you compare and contrast the two situations. There is nobody on the Sabres that is a compelling player right now. Nobody that's entertaining in the least. They are one of the most boring teams to watch play. And Josh Allen, conversely, is, in my opinion, the most entertaining player in pro sports right now. He gives you the best bang for your buck of any athlete in pro sports. That includes Connor McDavid, Shohei Ohtani. I'd put them all up there. Nothing matches what this guy's doing in Buffalo. Josh Allen is idiot-proof. He's ownership-proof. He's that good. And lastly, I will say that trip to Montreal seems like a complete waste of time. Apparently, Pegula flew there and basically said, clap for everyone. Everyone's great. We're just going to keep rolling. Did we not learn anything from COVID, Jay? Make it a Zoom call. Why did you have to fly to Montreal to supply nothing? It sounds like he brought nothing to the table. Unless he just wanted to blow off some steam in Montreal.
I was just going to say,
if that's the case, I can't blame him.
Yeah, if you get a chance to go to Montreal and you just have an excuse to do it, you just do it. You know that as well as anyone. Come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Speaking of the NFL, good news, I suppose, if you're a Chiefs fan, it's a mild high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes. So the Chiefs are now 13-1. All they need, Brian, is a win and a Buffalo loss to lock in that 1 seed in the AFC. And despite that, despite the fact they're the defending champs and in the midst of a dynasty, they're only the 4th choice to win the Super Bowl behind the Bills, the Lions, and the Eagles. At what point, Bryan Hayes, would you count the Chiefs out?
I don't think I'll ever count them out until they're actually out of the process. Like they've lost and they're packing their bags and they're going. I think they deserve that level of respect, right? They've won 2 straight Super Bowls. They're 13-1. 13-1. And listen, I think the Bills have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl. I think the Eagles do. I do not believe the Lions do anymore. I think they're way too injured. Montgomery going out for the season, all those injuries on the defensive side of things. I think Kansas City has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than I would say the Lions do. But this high ankle sprain for Mahomes is concerning. What's he going to look like? Because that defense has been phenomenal. That defense has been great. You still have Andy Reid, and if you have a healthy Mahomes, you're always going to have a chance. My concern will be, and we'll find out if he even plays this weekend, if he plays on Christmas Day. They got 3 games in short order coming up here. If he is banged up and that offensive line is absolutely getting shredded every week, that would really concern me. They do look and feel more vulnerable than they have in the past, right? Who are those weapons offensively that are going to help Mahomes get over the top if he's getting hit more than ever, if he's not mobile, if he is dealing with the high ankle sprain? So I'm never going to rule them out because they simply deserve that kind of respect. You know, they've done what they've done. They are who they are. They're always going to deserve that respect. But we just talked about the Bills. I really like the Bills' chances this year. I think if that Ravens defense can hold up and just play mediocre, I think the Ravens could beat the Chiefs. I could go on and on about some of the different reasons why I would be skeptical as to where the Chiefs are going to take this. But they do feel vulnerable. It's crazy to say that considering they're 13-1. If I'm the Bills, I am flooring it, right? They've got New England, New York, New England left. That feels like 3-0 down the stretch.
Yep.
The door is open. And we'll see if Mahomes ends up playing here to push them over the top and hold on to that 1 seed. But that's probably the last point I would make, Jay. Mm-hmm. If they don't get that 1 seed, that really opens the door to more vulnerability. If they have to play that wild card weekend, that's an extra game for Mahomes. And if they eventually have to go through Buffalo, if and when it gets to that point, we saw what happened earlier this season. I think they lose that game. So they deserve the utmost of respect. But you can poke some holes here, and I can't wait to get to the playoffs. And I think the Bills are going to do it this year. I think the Bills are going to get to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs have the Texans this Saturday. You can see that game on TSN. You can see this guy on TSN every week. Bryan Hayes, you've been great to us. We really love having you on the show. This is the final Hot Takes of 2024. Hope you and your family have a great holiday season. We'll chat with you in 2025, okay?
You too, guys. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more after this.
Hot Takes is presented by Harvey's. Customize your burger and get it delivered from our app to your door. Harvey's, it's a beautiful thing.